Welcome back, fellow orchid lovers. And in today's video, we've got a real emergency on our hands. As you can see here, this orchid is in critical condition, displaying severe symptoms that point to a major care issue, most likely overwatering leading to root rot, and possibly even a fungal or bacterial infection. The most striking signs are right here on the leaves. They're heavily yellowed, soft, and almost waterlogged. You can see this large leaf on the left. It's turning a dark, translucent, greenish-brown, classic tissue collapse from rot. The one on the right side is even worse, completely brown, peeling, and the plant is already trying to shed it as dead tissue. And look down here. The pot is literally sitting in a tray of standing water, one of the fastest ways to suffocate orchid roots. Combine that with moisture-retentive moss like this, and you've got the perfect storm for rot to spread. So I hope you guys like playing doctor as a kid, because today we're bringing this patient back to life with everything we've got. Removing the pot is our first priority, and the moment we do, you can see why this orchid is struggling so badly. The entire medium is soaked. It's heavy, cold, and dripping with water. You can almost hear the squish when you press it, and that's never a good sound for an orchid. These plants need air around their roots, not standing moisture, so the longer it stays like this, the faster the roots begin to rot. So we need to act fast. Start by gently loosening the plant from its pot. Don't yank or twist it too hard. Remember, the roots are already fragile from being waterlogged. Use your fingers or a small wooden stick to tease apart the substrate. Work slowly around the base, pulling away chunks of moss or bark bit by bit. Once you've removed most of it, you'll probably notice that the roots underneath look dark and slimy. That's a clear sign of suffocation and decay. The healthy ones should be firm and light green or silvery when dry. But these are brown, mushy, and in some spots, they even slip off like wet threads when touched. It might look bad, but don't worry. This is actually the first big step towards saving it. By clearing away all that soggy medium, we're giving the plant a chance to breathe again, and we can finally see which roots can still be saved and which ones need to go. So keep peeling away the old moss carefully until you can see the entire root system clearly. This will make the next part, cleaning and trimming, much easier and far safer for the plant. Now, with a clean shear or a pair of sharp scissors, we're going to start trimming off any part of the plant that can no longer provide nutrients. This step is very important. It's like removing infection from a wound so the healthy tissue can heal properly. Focus mainly on the roots. The damaged ones are usually dark brown or black, soft, and may even give off a sour smell. When you squeeze them lightly, they'll collapse between your fingers. That's how you know they're dead. Healthy roots, on the other hand, are firm, springy, and usually green or silvery white, depending on moisture. Cut away the rotten sections carefully, one piece at a time. Don't rush. Take your time to separate what's healthy from what's gone bad. Always make sure your tools are clean before each cut. You can wipe them with alcohol or rinse them in boiling water to prevent spreading any bacteria or fungus. As you trim, you'll start to notice the plant looking lighter and cleaner, like it's finally able to breathe again. This process might feel a bit harsh, but remember, every weak or dead root you remove gives the healthy ones more room to grow stronger. Once you're done, inspect the crown area too. If you see any soft or mushy spots there, remove them gently using sterilized scissors or even a cotton swab dipped in alcohol. Keeping this part clean and dry is crucial because that's where new leaves and roots will grow from later on. Next, we need to clean up our patient using a nice, gentle spray of water. Gentle, people, gentle. We're not trying to give the poor thing another heart attack here. Use a spray bottle with clean, lukewarm water not cold, not hot, just comfortable to the touch. Give the roots and remaining leaves a light, misting to wash away any leftover debris, bits of moss, or old rotted tissue that might still be clinging on. You don't need a powerful stream. Just a soft spray is enough to rinse off the dirt while keeping the plant calm and stress-free. As you do this, take a moment to check if there's anything you might have missed during trimming. Sometimes small patches of rot hide under healthy roots or right near the crown. A little patience here goes a long way. Make sure you also rinse the undersides of the leaves. That's where dust, old fertilizer, or even tiny pests can hang around. This gentle cleaning not only refreshes the plant, but also helps it breathe better and absorb light more efficiently. Once everything looks clean and healthy, set the plant down carefully on a dry surface, maybe a towel or soft tissue, and let it rest for a bit before we move on to the next step. But we're not done yet. Before we move on, make sure to clean the basin we just used to rinse the plant. We don't want any leftover debris or rot particles sticking around and contaminating our next step. Once it's nice and clean, fill it up again with fresh water. Room temperature is perfect, nothing too cold or hot. Now we're going to add in 2 teaspoons of baking soda. This simple ingredient does wonders. It helps neutralize bacteria and fungi while gently balancing the pH level of the water. Stir it slowly. Make sure the powder dissolves completely so there are no lumps or grains left at the bottom. Once that's ready, it's time for the healing bath. Carefully place the entire plant into the solution, making sure all the roots are fully submerged. If the plant starts to float up, which orchids love to do, you can use a small, light object like a plastic cup or mesh lid to keep it gently pressed down. Just make sure nothing heavy is crushing it. Think of this part like one of those sci-fi movies where the character floats in a glowing, healing pod. That's exactly what we're doing here, giving our orchid a spa treatment for recovery. Let it soak in this solution for about 15 minutes. During this time, the baking soda will help cleanse away hidden pathogens, while the roots rehydrate and stabilize after trimming. After 15 minutes, carefully lift the plant out of the water, making sure to support it by the base. The roots will be softer now, so handle it gently, no squeezing or tugging. Give it a little shake to help any excess water drip off. Now we're going to let it rest somewhere dry and airy. You can place it on a clean towel or a layer of dry tissue. Now let's prepare our solution, or in this case, our medicine for the patient. This step will help strengthen the orchid's immunity and prevent future infections. Our first ingredient is a single clove of garlic. Go ahead and peel the skin off carefully, making sure the surface underneath is clean and smooth. Garlic is a natural antibacterial and antifungal ingredient. It's gentle on plants, but powerful against harmful microbes that can attack weakened roots. Once the skin is removed, take a clean knife and start cutting it into small, even pieces. The smaller you slice, the more effectively it will release its natural compounds into the water later. You should be able to smell that strong, sharp aroma as you chop. That's allicin, the compound responsible for garlic's disinfecting power. Place all those garlic pieces into a clean container. Make sure the container is big enough for the water to circulate freely. Now, fill it up with clean water, preferably filtered or boiled and cooled to room temperature, so we don't introduce any unwanted minerals or chlorine. Once the water is in, give the mixture a good stir. Use a spoon or a chopstick to gently swirl it around until you can see the garlic bits floating evenly. Now we're just going to set this aside for a little while. For our next ingredient, we're going to use something simple but very effective: oatmeal. This might sound unusual for orchids, but oatmeal contains natural vitamins and minerals that can help nourish weak roots and gently restore balance to the plant. Go ahead and add in 3 teaspoons of plain, unsweetened oatmeal into a new clean container. Make sure it's free from any added flavors or sugar. We're making plant food, not breakfast. Once that's settled, pour in some hot water. Not boiling, just hot enough to help draw out all those nutrients from the oats. Now, give it a gentle stir, just enough to make sure every bit of oatmeal is mixed and soaking evenly. You'll notice the water turning a little cloudy. That's the starch and natural compounds slowly being released, which will act as a mild, organic booster for our orchid later on. Once it's mixed, close the lid securely, then wrap the container in a clean towel to keep the warmth in. After 20 minutes, both of our mixtures should be nicely infused and ready for the next step. We're going to filter out all of the solutions, starting first with our garlic mixture. Take a fine mesh strainer or a clean cloth filter, whichever you have on hand, and slowly pour the garlic solution through it into a new container. Move gently, letting the liquid flow on its own without rushing it. This helps prevent any solid pieces from slipping through. Using a clean tissue or a soft cloth, we're going to soak it into the garlic solution. Make sure it's fully saturated before using it. You want it damp, not dripping, so give it a little squeeze to remove any excess. Now, start gently wiping it across the leaves and around the base of the plant. Move slowly and carefully. Remember, our patient is still recovering, so a soft touch goes a long way. Begin from the top of the leaves and work your way down, following the natural curve. This helps remove dust, bacteria, or fungal spores that might be clinging to the surface. Don't forget to clean underneath the leaves too. Pests and moisture tend to hide there, and this garlic solution will help keep them away. If you notice any sticky spots, discoloration, or tiny mold patches, give those areas an extra gentle wipe. The mild antibacterial properties of the garlic water will help sanitize the surface without harming the plant. Once every leaf has been wiped clean, move on to the crown and the exposed roots. Just a light pass is enough. This simple treatment helps protect your orchid from future infections while giving it a fresh, healthy shine. Onto the oatmeal solution. Now that it's had time to steep, we're going to filter it the same way as before. Using a fine strainer, slowly pour the oatmeal water directly into the garlic solution. This will blend the two together, one acting as a cleanser and the other as a gentle nutrient booster. Next, prepare a clean container, one that's big enough for your orchid to sit comfortably in. Make sure it's been rinsed and free of any old residue or detergent. Pour the combined solution into the container first, just enough so that when we place the plant in, the roots will be fully submerged while the leaves stay dry. Now, gently position your orchid into the container. Adjust it carefully so the roots spread out naturally under the water. Unlike the baking soda soak we did earlier, we're not submerging the whole plant this time. Only the root zone needs to soak. We're going to let it sit here for about 20 minutes. During this time, the garlic will continue to fight off any hidden bacteria or fungus, while the oatmeal provides a light, natural source of energy and minerals. Think of this as the orchid's recovery bath. After 20 minutes, you should start to notice some slight changes to the plant. The leaves may not spring back to life instantly, but if you look closely, you'll see a subtle difference. The color begins to look a little fresher, less dull. The limpness might ease just a bit, showing that the plant has started to reabsorb some moisture and strength through its healthier roots. You might also notice that the remaining roots appear a shade lighter. a soft green or silvery tone. That's a good sign. It means the roots are breathing again, taking in oxygen and nutrients after being choked out by excess water before. The smell around the plant should be cleaner too, as the garlic solution helps neutralize any signs of rot or bacterial decay. This step isn't just about visual recovery. It's about restoring the orchid's internal balance, preparing it for the next stage of rehabilitation. So don't rush it, give it a moment to breathe. It's time for us to apply cinnamon powder onto the plant. You know the drill. Grab a small, clean paintbrush and just a bit of cinnamon powder. Gently dab the brush in the powder, making sure it picks up enough to coat the bristles, but not too much that it clumps. Now, carefully dust the cinnamon over every cut area where we trimmed the roots or removed any dead tissue. This step is super important. Cinnamon acts as a natural antifungal and antibacterial agent, sealing the wounds and preventing any infections while the plant recovers. Be gentle as you work. Think of it like applying medicine to a healing wound. You don't need to cover the entire root system, just the exposed ends or damaged parts. As you do this, you might notice that sweet, warm aroma filling the air. It's comforting, right? Like a little reminder that nature always has a remedy if you know where to look. Once you've coated all the cut spots, give the plant a moment to rest. The cinnamon will start doing its job immediately, forming a natural barrier to keep those wounds clean and dry. This is one of those small steps that make a huge difference in whether your orchid bounces back strong or struggles later on. Before we can fully bring this little guy into its new home, we're going to need to do some preparing first. This step is just as important as caring for the plant itself. Grab the pot that we'll be using, make sure it's clean, has good drainage holes, and is ready to go. Now, take the remaining baking soda solution we made earlier and slowly pour it into the pot filled with pine bark. As you pour, make sure the liquid spreads evenly, soaking through all the layers of bark. This process also helps soften the bark just enough so it can hold moisture better later. After a day has passed, it's finally time to move this little guy into its new home. Start with a pot that has clear drainage holes. This is super important because orchids hate sitting in stagnant water. Now, usually we would begin by filling the pot with bark first before adding the plant. But in this case, our orchid already has a root system strong enough to help steady itself. So instead, we're going to carefully position the plant in the center of the pot, making sure the roots spread out naturally. Don't force them or bend them too tightly. Just let them sit comfortably, like they're stretching after a long rest. Once you're happy with how it sits, begin to slowly fill in the pine bark around it. Add the bark little by little, tapping the pot gently as you go to help the pieces settle evenly between the roots. You want to make sure everything feels secure, but not too tight. Orchids like their roots to breathe. If you notice any big gaps, just fill them with smaller bits of bark to keep the plant nice and stable. Take your time here. Repotting isn't about rushing. It's about making the orchid feel safe and supported again after all that stress. When you're done, the plant should stand firmly on its own, the roots comfortably nestled in their new environment. Finally, we're going to cover the top with a nice, soft layer of moss. This step helps lock in moisture and keeps the roots cool and hydrated between waterings. Gently spread the moss across the surface. Don't pack it down too tightly. Just let it rest loosely like a cozy blanket over the bark. As you work, make sure you leave a little breathing space around the base of the stem. You don't want the moss pressed directly against it, since that could trap too much moisture and lead to rot. The goal here is balance, enough to hold humidity, but still airy enough to let the orchid breathe. You'll notice right away how much more natural and complete the setup looks with the moss in place. It gives the pot a lush, forest-like feel, almost like the orchid is back in its native habitat. This layer will also act as a visual guide for watering later. When the moss starts to feel dry and crisp to the touch, That's your cue that it's time for a gentle watering. After 21 days, you'll start to see some truly incredible changes. The transformation might even surprise you. Those dull, lifeless leaves that once looked soft and wrinkled will begin to regain their firmness, slowly turning greener and more vibrant each day. The plant will look more awake, more alive, almost as if it's thanking you for giving it a second chance. If you take a closer look at the roots through the clear pot, you'll notice new growths forming, small, light green root tips pushing their way through the bark. That's a clear sign your orchid is recovering and adapting beautifully to its new environment. The base of the plant will also start to look plumper and healthier, showing that it's absorbing moisture and nutrients properly again. Even the leaves might start producing a light sheen, a glossy texture that tells you the internal water balance is stabilizing. It's always a magical moment seeing a once-dying orchid come back to life. And it's all thanks to patience, gentle care, and consistency. At this stage, you can start returning to your regular care routine. Light watering when the moss feels dry, a quick leaf wipe every few days, and keeping in a bright but shaded spot. Remember, this progress didn't happen overnight. Every small action you took built up to this recovery. So take a step back, smile, and enjoy this victory. You just saved a life, and this orchid's beautiful comeback is the result of your care and dedication. But we're not done yet. Our little friend may look healthier, but now comes the most important part, routine care. This is where you make sure all the hard work you've done actually lasts. Think of it like physical therapy after recovery. Steady, consistent effort to keep the orchid strong and thriving. Start by checking your orchid every few days. Feel the moss and bark to see if it's drying out. When it feels just slightly dry to the touch, that's your cue to water. Not too much, not too little. Orchids love rhythm, so try to stick to a consistent schedule rather than random watering. Next, keep wiping the leaves with a soft tissue or cloth dipped in your natural solution, the same one we made earlier. This helps remove dust and bacteria while keeping the leaves shiny and healthy. It also allows the plant to breathe better and absorb light more efficiently. Place your orchid in a bright spot with indirect sunlight, somewhere warm and gentle, like a window with filtered light. Too much sun can burn the leaves, but too little can slow down new growth. Keep the environment balanced. Humidity around 50 to 70% is perfect. And don't forget to talk to your plant once in a while. I know it sounds silly, but orchids really do respond to the care and attention you give. Every small act, watering, cleaning, or even moving it gently, tells the plant it's safe, and that's what helps it grow. So from here on out, this isn't just about keeping an orchid alive, it's about helping it thrive. Keep up the routine, stay patient, and your orchid will reward you with beauty that lasts for years. And there you have it. From a weak, dying orchid on the brink of collapse to a strong, healthy plant full of life again. All thanks to a little patience, care, and the right routine. It's honestly such a rewarding feeling to see how much difference a few thoughtful steps can make. Remember, orchids aren't fragile, they're survivors. All they need is balance, consistency, and a bit of love. So if you ever find yourself with a struggling plant, don't give up. Just take a deep breath, follow these steps, and watch it bounce back stronger than ever. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to leave a like, share with your fellow orchid lovers, and of course, subscribe to the channel for more tips and tutorials like this. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, keep your orchids happy, your hands steady, and your garden blooming. I'll see you in the next video.